Alright, folks, welcome back to StarLadder Day 13.
Dire team
This
ban.
will be probably the highlight game of today. It will be Alliance versus Empire. So Alliance just coming off a pretty difficult loss to Bow Sports, but we'll see how they manage to bounce back. Shiver is out today, unfortunately. She's out at a birthday party, I believe, but you do have myself,
10
Vikrabond,
seconds
and my
remaining.
co-caster, G Advance. How you doing, man?
I am, in fact, here.
Alliances
Pretty good.
turn to ban.
This game started a little bit more on time. We're only, 13 minutes late now? It's
Dire
pretty good.
team
Not too
ban.
bad.
Still,
So-
everybody's the same captain, though.
Yes, certainly true. So tell me, if you're Alliance, do you worry at all about the way that last game went, or do you shake it off? They're an experienced team, obviously. Is there any cause for concern? Was it the draft?
10
Are they
seconds
not on
remaining.
form? What happened?
I think you just have to you just have to reset, go into this next game, be like, okay, we did something wrong there. You know, we were playing with a couple of heroes who maybe have been slightly nerfed, like the Elder Titan, who again Alliance are going to first pick. We picked up a hero who perhaps we haven't seen him for ages, to be honest. The Shadow Demon, and probably for good reason. Reset. Go things back into this. I'm sure Alliance will be fine. They've had situations like this before. It happens.
Yep. And certainly still confident in the Elder Titan. They'll take him for the second time today. It does go through from Team Empire, and Alliance picks up the
10 seconds
Titan
remaining.
again. Was that... I don't know. I feel like
5
the nerf almost does matter a little bit. The vision, in particular, not so much the damage, but the vision really hurts, I think.
The damage makes your laning just that little bit weaker, and the vision means your mid game is just that little bit weaker too. I feel like this Elder Titan nerf has certainly been enough to push him out of the whole first pick, first ban phase, particularly because he's not really, you know, a lot. Like I said before, a lot of teams have been very, very specific about which heroes they want and what sort of style they want to play.
Right.
And Elder Titan is a very generalized hero. I mean, he enjoys team fights, certainly. He's relatively okay in lane. He's relatively okay at farming. He's not a great split pusher, but he can help with it. He's kind of okay for counter push. He doesn't fit any one specific thing very well, so I definitely think first pick, first ban, maybe not so much.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really hard to say. Like, on the one hand, the hero Natural Order is still such an insane ability. But I have to say, the Rubik, like, it's kind of an iffy counter, but it's true that Rubik with the, what is it even called? I honestly don't even know what it's called.
Nullfield. It's called Nullfield. His aura, he managed to get that great extra levels. And we didn't think about this in the game, but we talked about it afterwards. Nullfield scales amazingly versus Elder Titan, because normally Elder Titan, you're worrying about 5-manning him because whether he's hitting you or not, you're hurting.
It's fascinating to me. Like, it really, and Bulldog was under leveled, so Rubik was leading the Elder Titan on levels, so he was able to max Nullfield almost at the same time that Natural Order was maxed. So it really just took out the advantage of the ability almost entirely. Now, Empire on the Dire, so even if they wanted to have a high level Rubik, they'd have to spend an awful lot for it. But they have a pretty strong lineup so far as well. The Lifestealer coming out in addition to the Alchemist and the Visage. And once again, like Mao's, this is a very, very, very scary mid-game lineup without focusing too much on a hard carry, which I think is what almost every team is tending towards these days.
Yeah, generally, yeah, the sort of tri-core lineups are a lot better for teams. Another thing that you might want to think about here is that both Alchemist as well as Lifestealer are both low base armor and low scaling armor heroes, which is generally what Elder Titan does well against. But, well, no, Elder Titan generally preys against the agility carries who build up a lot of armor through their agility. But Alchemist and Lifestealer are generally heroes to buy armor items, and armor items or extra auras that give you extra armor are very, very powerful versus the Elder Titan aura. They basically nullify it and remove all those skill points.
Now, Elder Titan does have that. His splitter does scale with the HP of the target, so it's pretty good against strength heroes. But I agree with you, it doesn't counteract the fact that one of the strongest things about him is just his ability to almost be like a distant radiance, like your entire low HP team just melts from 2,000 units away. But Alliance pick up the Dragon Knight, so certainly going for a multi-core lineup this time around. Even if the Elder Titan for Bulldog isn't going to be a primary carry, the Dragon Knight certainly will be able to farm, and whatever Lotus hero ends up being will also be farming. And I guess the response from Empire is fine, get farming heroes, we'll just try to blow you out
Dollar
early with
team
Bounty
ban.
Hunter added to the pool.
Yeah, and for a second time in the row, Alliance actually pick up a support hero, which is well, not exactly unorthodox. There are some teams that favor Bane quite heavily, but I haven't seen Alliance play very much Bane at all. So I think they're kind of experimenting with their drafts just a little bit here.
Yeah.
It suits their style quite well, though, because the Crystal Maiden, she can go into the jungle, basically disappear off there, go AFK farm, and the Bane's very, very useful for protecting their one carry, which is normally the job of EGM, who pretty much just sits on top of his carry.
Yeah, I was about to ask you about that actually, G Advance. Do you think Alliance are trying to force sort of unnatural picks for themselves just to diversify? Because I feel like, which I think is actually pretty smart, but usually if you took a month ago, they would not be first picking Bulldog Elder Titan. They'd give him, in this exact situation, they'd give him like Clockwork or something. And now I feel like they're almost trying to expand.
Yeah, they've talked about how they didn't have very much time over the past they've gone to like 3 lands or something very recently, and they haven't had very much time to practice things. They're having more time to practice now, but I think they're using some of these StarLadder games as well as their, their scrims and their actual practice time as that, because to be honest, like we just talked about, Elder Titan has just got a few nerfs. I think this patch coming just now is actually kind of hurting Alliance, because they were just starting to get into things. They were just starting to get to a point where they're like, oh, okay, we understand the patch. All right, they changed Elder Titan. God damn it.
Visage, actually. That movement speed nerf also comes in on another hero that Alliance uses a lot. I mean, everybody uses Visage a lot. The hero's stupid.
Yeah, the hero is exceedingly powerful and will continue to get nerfed for a long time, probably.
And actually, today, so far, I didn't realize this, but Alliance were undefeated in StarLadder as well. So the last 2 undefeated teams in the StarLadder bracket both got their first losses today, Alliance and NextKZ. So I think Alliance still have a bit of a buffer. Like, it's definitely okay for them to take a loss to Mouse, and they can still make playoffs, but there's not too many of those that they can afford, because it's a very competitive season, of course.
Alliance's turn.
Yeah, and
Venge.
Empire here, Venge and Slark. When was the last time you saw Slark?
Well, the last time we saw Slark was when he was in Captain's mode, which he wasn't until yesterday, right?
Oh yeah, actually, he got that change. Now,
Lotus
I'm not gonna lie.
Slark. Well,
I think that change was a serious nerf.
You think so?
Well,
It's
the thing with Slark is the hero doesn't scale fantastically in the late game.
Yes,
Yes,
that's true.
once you get to the late game, he's a pain to kill, but he doesn't do a huge amount of damage, and you really want to be focusing as much pressure as you can during the early mid game on a Slark. So if you're picking up the Slark and you now can't use your ultimate as often as possible, because now it's on a 65-second cooldown, which is a long time. Admittedly, it's better when you use it. Way better when you use it. It just limits the amount of time that you can be aggressive with the hero.
That's very true, and I mean, this is a very intriguing choice. I mean, certainly we were just discussing, oh, do you think Alliance are experimenting? I think the answer is
yes, they are.
A resounding yes.
Absolutely sure they are.
So I guess I'll go ahead and do Alliance, and you can grab up Empire. Loda is on the safe lane farming Slark. He's joined by EGM on Bane and Ake on Crystal Maiden. We'll definitely be watching this with interest, as I believe it may actually be the first appearance of Slark since he got re-entered into the Captain's Mode pool.
It's gotta be.
Well, who knows? I don't know. Maybe some Southeast Asian. Maybe I was trying to watch the Sri Lanka Cyber Games this morning, and they had a first pick Bloodseeker. So who knows?
30 seconds.
Who knows?
Really?
Yes. Well, it was the Sri Lanka Cyber Games. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
No offense to the Sri Lanka Cyber Games, but it's a different meta. Dragon Knight in the middle for S4, and it will be Admiral Bulldog for the second game playing the offlane Elder Titan. We'll see if he finds more success when he doesn't have to face a Rubik who's 5 levels higher than him.
Yeah, and on the side of Empire, the safe lane farmer for the team, it is going to be Silent. He's picking up the Life Stealer, the supports for the team. It's going to be Van Score, as well as Always Wanna Fly. They're picking up the Vengeful Spirit, as well as the Visage. Solo mid for the team, it is going to be Resolution. He's picking up the Alchemist, and last but not least, it is going to be Mag. He's picking up the offlane Bounty Hunter. Pretty nice lineup here for Empire. They've got a very, very capable snowball lineup, I would say.
I am concerned, though. If Loda lands a pounce, Mag is guaranteed dead every single time, right?
Yeah, definitely. And there's already a Sentry Ward in the lane. It's actually hidden in trees. So there's only a small sort of cone where they can actually catch him.
Yeah, he's if he finds out where the sentry is, he will definitely be able to manage this, and they actually won't be able to get him. But they can cover. Uh-oh. Okay. They now have a Venn diagram of sentry wards, and Mag, he gets nightmared. He's in a lot of trouble already. Ake's got the frostbite available. They're going to chain it with the frostbite, and here comes the dust from Loda. The pounce is coming momentarily. I believe Mag is so low they won't even need to use it. He's going to preserve the mana as actually Loda finds the last hit. They use 2 sentries and a dust, but could they just completely shut Bounty Hunter out of the game?
It's very, very possible, especially with heroes like Bane and Crystal Maiden acting as your supports. These are very, very capable heroes versus a Bounty Hunter. They can lock him down for a long time. And yeah, this could be really, really bad for the Bounty. He might just even want to just screw going to the lane and just sort of sit behind their small camp and sap XP, steal last hits, mess around with the supports rather than mess around with Loda's lane.
Yeah, quite possibly.
Because they're very protective of Loda.
I agree. I mean, certainly Slark, if you're going to run a safe Slark, he had better hit his marks, otherwise...
Yeah.
Jesus. I don't
Very
even know
unreliable hero, to
Right.
say the least.
Yeah,
And,
resolution. Hits S4 very hard, so Dragon Knight actually suffering a little bit in this lane. 5 for 2 versus 8 for 1 for Alk, and I guess actually Dragon Knight known as a hero who doesn't really either win or lose lanes, but Alchemist is with Acid Spray and then stable. I guess he's one of the heroes that can kind of punish him.
Yeah, generally Dragon Knight is one of those heroes who just sits in your lane. He always gets some last hits. He always does okay. He never really falls behind. He's almost certain not to die, even to ganks from multiple heroes, because he's just got so much HP as well as armor. He's got good defensive spells to throw people away from him, essentially, by just, you know, stunning people, breathing fire all over them. Generally, people don't enjoy that sort of stuff. But yeah,
Having fire breathed on them.
Well, I mean, imagine if you're like a vengeful spirit. You know, you
I was
already
thinking
lost
real
your
life.
wings once.
Right.
Like if you go in and screw with a guy who breathes fire, like it's only going to make your day worse.
That's very true. That's very true. She's already looks pretty charred as is with her wings and stuff, so she maybe has some experience. So Mag, as you said, he has rotated into the jungle, stealing a little bit of XP there, but yeah, he's struggling to keep up. Of course, Elder Titan is also being zoned out pretty efficiently. Bulldog is only level 1. He hasn't managed to steal almost any last hits by using the Astral Spirit, and that's actually, now that I think about it, another impact. The damage nerf actually, it's not that it does less damage on heroes. Sorry, I'm still like thinking through this. I guess it's actually that it makes it much harder to offlane jungle with him.
Yeah, definitely. You can't farm up as fast, especially with these early levels of it, because the thing is it doesn't hit very hard until
Mag.
you have maxed out natural order as well. Oh,
That's the pounce. It's a very long disable. I mean, it's 3.5 seconds that you know Bounty Hunter is going to be in range of Sentry. I'm kind of shocked at how good this is. This is actually like a really strong counter, I feel.
yeah, and especially combined with heroes like Bane and Crystal Maiden, who can give you a really, really easy setup for the pounce as well. So yeah, this is a really strong combination. Of course, the issue is does he transition well
Yeah.
into doing well in the mid game? And
That's a
like I
good
said, he
point.
can't fight quite as often with Shadow Dance. I mean, it's not exactly a long cooldown. 65 seconds is still relatively short. It's just whether he gets the right items for it, whether he gets those right opportunities, and whether
Yeah.
he hits those mid game pounces.
I agree. I mean, you're completely right. It's kind of like Viper, where yes, Viper beats almost anybody in lane, but then you have Viper for the rest of the game. And the question is, when they have Slark, will having Slark for the rest of the game actually be a major asset? And we'll have to see. I mean, it could be. And the sentries are
Yeah.
running out, so Mag may be a little safer, but have they rebought sentries? They actually have 2 more coming on Ake, so...
Lane Bulldog being pressured again. He's
still
still
level
really
1.
struggling. He's not even level 2 yet.
Wow.
And
I mean, say what
I
you
mean,
will about
he's bought
Mag.
a ring of health.
Yeah.
Or a ring of regen even. Not even
Yikes.
a ring of health. So this is
still
how
get
hard
mech.
things are going for him.
Eventually. It is part of a mechanism, I guess.
I think he'll get a soul ring first.
Maybe.
Just because of the
Yeah.
low mana pool, and he wants to constantly be spamming out.
That's true,
He'll
you're
probably
right.
get like mech later or something.
Yeah. And for what it's worth, Empire, they are spending a lot of time zoning him out, and so their levels aren't doing that great. Vanscore is level 2, Always Wanna Fly is just at the beginning of level 3, whereas Alliance are, I mean, CM is most of the way through level 3, Bane is 3 as well. And the question is, where is Mag going to find XP? And I guess the corollary question is, where the hell is Admiral Bulldog going to find some XP? Because he's level 1 and it's 5 minutes now.
Yeah, definitely seeing some of those Elder Titan nerfs actually come through, and teams learning how to deal with him a little bit better as well. Generally, that's an issue that a lot of people say when heroes first come out, and everybody screams OP because a lot of the time they are. But
Yeah.
also a lot of the time, you know, you have to turn around and be like, teams need to spend a bit of time, you know, working out how these heroes work.
Yeah. The question is always to me is how OP. Like I don't think there's any doubt that Elder Titan was pretty broken when he was put in, but
Yeah,
it's
totally.
shocking that just these tiny. This happens again and again. And I feel like the entire community is always like, "Wow!" Even though like at this point we probably should get used to it, but the smallest nerf can just really impact somebody, and it does seem like Elder Titan, even if he's still very strong, and I think he is. Oh no! Oh Mag, Frostbite, EGM hitting on him. And there's the Brain Sap. There's one more auto attack. Loda not even involved. I'm not even sure if he got kill credit, but it doesn't matter. Bane finds another kill on the bounty.
It's a sad day to be a bounty hunter this game.
It
I mean,
really
he's
is.
not getting bad XP, considering Bulldog's getting crushed, but he is feeding, essentially, at this point. There's no other way of putting it.
Right.
He's giving gold away. He's giving XP away. And it could be really, really bad for the sort of game plan of
Yeah.
Empire if they don't get that early level 6 on the bounty hunter.
Definitely, and I do think that Alliance, even with the underlevel Elder Titan, are actually doing very well on the whole. They have 3 kills, the supports are getting them, so the supports are getting levels. S4 has turned around the middle lane with Resolution. He's managed to effectively bottle Crow as well as have rune control, because Alchemist, of course, an even worse rune controller than Dragon Knight. So S4,
Yeah.
oh no, do they realize that this is an illusion? They did ping it out. I think they know it's an illusion, so it's fine. But S4 just using that to scout while he continues to... He's winning this middle lane quite handily at this point.
Yeah, Dragon Knight gets to a point where he just constantly throws out Breathe Fire. It's pretty much impossible to deny against him once once it gets to that point. But they're going to try and smoke onto him here. He's got a fair amount of HP, though. Full treads up. I don't think they're going to
Won't
get
be
him.
easy.
He's playing really defensively as well.
Always Wanna Fly is an amazing Visage player, but he's only level 3, so he doesn't have 5 for the 3rd rank of Soul Assumption. I don't think it'll be easy at all. They find out the Dragon Knight illusion, but I mean, they must know that this isn't the real one, yeah. So this is a completely failed gank, I would say. Always Wanna Fly wants to maybe... He's just going to place a ward so that later on they can gank Bulldog, who has finally found some levels, even as Alliance harasses the bottom tier 1.
Yeah, it looks like they're actually going to take this out. I mean, Mac is doing whatever he can to try and pull the creeps back here, but this
Sure thing for
tower
a
is
last
dead,
hit.
and there's not going to get a deny on it because he'll die if he does.
Yeah, and Lifestealer, meanwhile, Grave Chill up, Open Wounds is up, Bulldog is in a lot of trouble. Maybe this is the first kill for Empire. Yes, one more hit for Silent, and he'll get what he needs there. So that's the first kill for Empire this game. S4 comes in, immediately takes a Soul Assumption to the face. But even so, I mean, Alliance with the tower, Loda is using his Midas consistently, and he's picked up 2 kills, so... is he actually ahead? It seems like him and Lifestealer are actually in a dead heat for farm.
Yeah, and Slark a relatively good hero versus Lifestealer as
Oh.
well. Looks like Alchemist just picked off a kill on Crystal Maiden.
With a long-distance acid spray, that's just rude. Of course, he did hit her with a stun beforehand, but Ake takes a fall. That's 2 kills for Empire in a short amount of time.
Yeah, and so far I think things are going relatively Alliance's way. I mean, they're trying to do what they can about Loda, but the thing with Slark is there's no real way of contesting him at any point because he's got so good escapes. He
Right.
has basically 3 skills that he can use to help him escape, to the point where you kind of just have to deal with the fact that there's a Slark in the game. You can't really be like, oh, we'll go shut down the Slark. It's not like an AM where you can
Right.
potentially shut him down. Slark is incredibly hard to actually stop.
You're completely right. I'm going to put you on the spot, G-Advance. So when you're playing a tri-lane, or rather, in the situation that there's a tri-lane farming Slark, what the hell do you build on him? What's the item loadout for Loda here?
Honestly, I'm one of the worst Slark players ever, and I'm proud to say that. But I think really you go relatively safe. You build yourself just a little bit of HP. Because the thing is the longer Slark is in the fights, the more times he's going to be hitting with those Essence Shift. If you get to a point where you think you're pretty much invincible in the game, then you can start going for a little bit more damage items, but for the moment, he just wants HP.
S4 and Loda already bring down Vanscore. Resolution now in trouble. The Frostbite comes out. Loda has another pounce available. Resolution is down. Always Wanna Fly is down. Mag has joined the fray. He's just walking on out with that back into his Shadow Walk. Of course, he doesn't even have track yet, so 3 kills and a tower for Alliance, just prying open the can of Empire right there in the middle. Should Empire have even taken that, or should they just have backed off?
I think they really needed to back off from that fight. It's pretty obvious given all the kills that they just gave away. And this Slark is getting bigger and bigger. He is going for a drum, so some really, really nice stats for him. It means he'll be able to use Dark Pack just that little bit more. It means he'll have enough mana, and he'll have enough HP as well to stand in these fights. And I mean, I was saying about how I think the changes to Shadow Dance are kind of a sort of sideways nerf. because you can't be aggressive as often.
Sure.
But when you do want to be aggressive, that's the real power of it. He was just diving in there, and there's nothing anybody could do. You can't sentry him, you can't dust him,
Right.
gems don't work.
I think it actually makes him almost more viable as a 1, because... Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
Always Wanna Fly is in a lot of trouble here. A nice stun from Resolution hits too, but Frostbite just in time from Ake. Excellent use of the range of that ability, catches out the Visage, and that's another death for Always Wanna Fly, who, excuse me, typically is one of the highlights of Empire's team when he's on Visage, but this game he hasn't made anything happen. He's 0-2-1.
Yeah, and you were saying about how you think he's more reliable as a, or more viable
Well,
as
with
a
the
one
new
hero?
Shadow Dance, because
Yeah, because he's
a
more
one-
reliable.
Right, and you said that it doesn't generate as many opportunities. I agree, but maybe you don't want to as a 1, right? Like, you really just
Yeah.
want to participate in the important
Radiant
fights.
structures are fortified.
Yeah, I mean, I've always really thought of him as a mid-game focused hero. Maybe this is helping him transition into... Because really before he didn't... People weren't sure as to the sort of role he would play. We saw
Right.
like a burst around TI3
Mid counter
qualifiers
to
where
Batrider,
everybody played
yeah.
him
EGM.
as a solo mid.
They've locked
and
out
everybody-
Silent. They're going to land the Dragon Tail. This is an easy kill. Brain Sap
Oh,
will steal it out from
Jesus.
S4, but that's fine. I think Bane
This
needs
is-
kills anyway, so...
Yeah, Bane needs to get a few more items. Or actually, he's got arcane boots as well as an Earner's Shadow, so maybe you should have dropped that on the DK, because I think the DK... Well, actually, no, he's got 2,500 gold. He might build into a quick Shadow Blade here, and Empire could really quickly fall on the back foot if that happens as well.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, Alliance just playing this strategy very, very well, and... Yeah, I don't know. I mean, as you said, in the Tier 3 qualifiers, he was used, like, as a mid-ganker. We've seen, like, Shadowblade Slark just trying to ball out of control, but... It definitely has difficulty transitioning late, but it feels like teams in general are running lineups that concern themselves much less about transitioning into ultra late game and much more about just getting a dominant mid game advantage. And Slark, he's a dominant mid game advantage kind of guy.
Yeah, and he's very, very strong in the lane as well, especially as long as he gets some help. There are a few hero matchups that are actually really, really good against him, but like we saw with the Bounty Hunter really did not enjoy him, although he's finally managed to get up level 7 on that guy. Surprised he's managed to sort of power level recently, but I think he's going to die.
Dust on Mag. The Pounce, he's in so much trouble. We'll even throw out a track. He doesn't manage to do it. It's Loda getting the kill. Has he even used Shadow Dance? So does it even matter about the cooldown?
He's used Shadow Dance a couple of times, but actually I'm thinking, yeah, this is more and more of a buff. The Shadow Dance cooldown, he used it in those kills mid when they took down the tower,
You're right.
and then he went to farm for like, I mean, he went to farm for 65 seconds, came back and used it again.
Right.
Which is proving to be really quite short enough.
Oh, no.
Silent. Need to
Fiend's
invest.
Grip.
You're dead.
And they're just using the Bane as... I mean, Bane typically used as a lifestealer counter, and they're just... Every time they have the Fiend's Grip available, they figure out where Silent is, and they just murder him. And Silent had an amazing start. I mean, he's 98 for 33, but now with 2 deaths, he's kind of stuck at the armlet stage, which... It's good for lifestealer, but it's nothing special.
It's not good enough at this
Yeah.
point. What Empire are going to have to do is they're going to have to reset, because right now they're getting kind of broken up. It looks like their game plan is kind of falling apart. They need to just reset. You know, they have a lot of options. They can infest bomb with the Bounty Hunter. They can help out with the Alchemist, helping out with those guys, because they'll do a ton of physical damage there. There is things they can do, but they need
EGM.
to make sure that they get the right opportunities. And, well, EGM's giving away a free kill, so that's
Yeah.
always nice.
That's definitely an opportunity. Alchemist with a long-range stun hits on EGM, and they find a track kill. That may be one of the first track kills Empire's... No, that has to be the first track kill they got in this
That's
game.
their first track kill, yeah.
Yeah. That's bad. When you have Bounty Hunter and you can't get tracks, but can they get more here? They need to be able to land track to actually catch up. Resolution is going around the back. He's going to land an Unstable Concoction, or at least try. Vanskor already taking tremendous damage from Loda. The Vengeful Spirit is dead. Ake takes a lot of damage. That'll be the second track kill. Loda is Shadow Danced up, though. He'll be able to escape this fight extremely easily by pouncing to the low ground. And still for Empire, I mean, Venge for CM, and you get a track on the CM. You've got to take them where you can get them.
Yeah, definitely. They're not in the position where they can try and snowball, where they can try and kill everybody on the side of Alliance. They're behind. Trading evenly when you're behind is always worth it. Trading evenly when you're behind with a Bounty Hunter, lots of worth it. Very worth it indeed.
Dragon Knight level 11, Slark level 11, so they're winning the mid-battle. S4 is ahead on farm and ahead on levels relative to Resolution, who's playing a very defensive build for his Alchemist with the Vitality booster first immediately into Ogre Club that's possibly going to be a BKB. I mean, Empire are just massively on the back foot, which with this lineup I feel like is more or less the opposite of where you were hoping to be.
Yeah, with a bounty hunter, you want to be causing that chaos. You want to be going for those lifestealer infest bombs, but they just haven't got a chance to so far. S4's actually picked up a Sanjin Yasha.
Yep.
What do you think about this as an item choice? I mean, I was thinking he would
was
go
buffed.
Shadowblade or something, because it's really, really nice, and it helps, you know, it really puts down the supports on the side of Empires. They have to play more dust. It's
Maybe
an
they're
overall
concerned-
okay item.
They might be concerned about track. That Empire will be able to just catch the initiation of the Dragon Knight in
Yeah, there is that.
Maybe not. I do think that Sanjin Yasha is a pretty good item.
Top lane, Bulldog. Do you really want to be here? This could be really
S4 is
bad
here
for
as
them.
well. But here comes Resolution. Is he going to land a big and stable concoction? It only hits on S4, but Bulldog just immediately brought down. The Earth Splitter will land on Silent. S4 has open wounds on him. Always want to fly. Probably going to drop these familiars down for the stuns. And now S4 is in trouble. He's just very tanky. He is tracked, though, however. He's going to try to deny himself on neutrals. No such luck. But Loda's here. S4 escapes. And Loda rejecting the team. He's actually pounced onto Mag. Here comes the stun from Alchemist. Doesn't even matter. Loda has already Shadow Danced Silent, killing Crystal Maiden extremely quickly, but the Fiend's Grip, long distance from EGM. Now they're wishing they hadn't used those familiar cooldowns as Silent drops again for the third time this game, and Loda still chasing Resolution. A very short unstable concoction just to get the Slark off his back. Meanwhile, Always Wanna Fly is in trouble, potentially. Loda, he just doesn't care. He's charging straight at them, uses the Dark
Oh, he's
Pact,
gonna
but
die into the tower,
unfortunately... Yeah.
This is the issue with Slark. You use your Dark Pact at the wrong time, you use your Leap at the wrong time, and you've just died. Because he doesn't have a great HP pool, he's not actually that survivable.
Mag's back. They probably
It's an
lose the tower
important kill.
anyway to S4 Illusions. Yeah, they'll take the tower. Meanwhile, EGM is tracked up. Empire, the entirety of Empire is chasing him. Resolution needs to land the stun. It's going to go on S4, who lands a Breathe Fire on the entire team. Oh, and the perfect Nightmare from Enter God mode. S4 is going to reject a lot of damage. Resolution now stuck in Frostbite. Bulldog is here, bashes him down with the briefcase, and Vanscore now forced to run. An Urn effect ticking on him as he goes. The Astral Spirit chasing as well. Another Urn comes up. Will Astral actually hit? No, it doesn't. EGM looking for another Nightmare. They don't have... Actually, they do have high ground vision. Will he land it? Another Urn charge, the third. And that's actually going to kill Vanscore. No, he uses wand charges to survive it. Wow, Empire just getting run down the entire map. And this is the aggressive alliance we saw against Na'Vi and the one that wasn't in evidence in the last game. They are just pressuring Empire.
Yeah, they're playing really, really well at the moment, but Empire did get themselves a few kills there. They took out the Slark. They also they managed to get a track kill up on their Admiral Bulldog. So it's not terrible for them. Like I said before, they don't really, you know, they can't pick and choose exactly what they want. Things are going to go bad for them. It looked like it was going to be perfect when they thought they were going to get the DK, and then suddenly Loda comes around the corner. That was really when things fell apart for them, and it looks like Loda's actually going Lincoln Sphere here on Slark, so not bad stats, pretty good defensive item.
Yeah. S4, just stunning Resolution and leaving just to make sure that he doesn't try to do anything to his beloved Loda. And Loda will walk away from another fight. We'll make that Lincoln's pretty soon. Now, it won't really give him any damage, but certainly the survivability will be even better. Works on swap, works on open wounds, all sorts of nasty things.
Yeah, and he definitely wants to get swapped, because earlier he got swapped into a tower just after using Dark Pact, so that Lincoln's Field will be pretty helpful for him, I think. Yeah. And that'll pretty much put him at the point where he can start buying, you know, a Basher, other damage items that will help him block down and do some really significant damage to people. At the moment, he just sort of chips away. He chips away pretty fast, but it's still not, you know, the huge amount of damage that you really want from your safe lane carry.
Yeah, and Ake actually has Ghost Scepter, so Empire's damage is nearly all physical. I mean, they have Visage, of course, but if they can't attack Ake, he might actually be able to get off some pretty impressive... I don't know about Freezing Field, but at least he'll be able to spam his spells, his other spells.
Yeah, I really like the Ghost Scepter pickup on him, and it's pretty surprising that he's managed to pick up this amount of farm. I mean, generally, Alliance are a very ward-heavy team, and Ake's pretty greedy, though, as far as farming. EGM and Ake are both actually very, very rich for what they are. They've also managed to pick up a gem on EGM, but that's a bit of a mouthful. Yeah. They're also picking up a Void Stone on him, which is
Empire.
a little bit of an odd choice as just a random pickup item, although it's nice.
Well, eventually it'll be Scythe, I assume.
You'd hope so, but it's very, very easy to be like, I'm gonna buy a scythe at
Right.
20 minutes, and
That's
then
true.
60 minutes into the game,
Ooh.
you've still got
Here
a
it comes.
Bloodstone.
Blink in. They didn't know about the blink. EGM is already very low. He nightmares himself defensively. Ake walking away with the Ghost Scepter. They do get the Bane, but I'm sure they wanted more. Open Wounds is on Bulldog. Silent is bashing him. They swap S4 into the fight, but he immediately uses a stun. Ake forced to buy back. Vanscore now in trouble. Loda's in the fray. Has the Lincoln Sphere completed. Always Want to Fly getting hunted by the Slark. That'll take him down. And Alliance turning this around again. Resolution is actually going to stun himself. Will Loda simply continue to chase? He doesn't quite see Resolution. It is nighttime, so they do use a buyback. It's a 2-for-2 trade. I feel like those probably still favor Empire just because of the track factor.
Yeah, but that's a tactical fight for the side of Alliance. They know they've got themselves that little bit of map control now, so they're going to go in for Roshan. So, gold-wise, as far as, what Empire want, that's definitely good for them, but actually, Alliance are totally okay with that, taking that fight, and even using the buyback, because their supports at this point are actually, we talked about this a few seconds ago, really rich.
Vanscore throws it out. Resolution really wants something. He blinks in. EGM denies the stable concoction, but he's still going to go down. The Bane gone again for the second fight in a row, but will they trade Silent? The freezing field, the damage from Dragonite? Yes! And that's 2 down. Venge and Lifesteal are dead, and that means Empire. They really don't have any way to contest the Roshan. Even more so, after Loda, attempting to chew through Always Want to Fly, just needs a pounce. The perfect pounce comes through. Breathe Fire as well, and that's a double kill for Loda in this fight. 10-1-6 now for the Slark. But has he gone too far? Maybe not. He pounces out, and no way that Resolution can catch him, even with the Blink Dagger. And Silent is just dropping so early in these fights, and I don't know that S and Y is really going to change that.
Yeah, it's really not enough HP. He probably needs something like
Another
a
set of
Bastra
stuns.
just
Resolution
to deal with the Slark.
stuns the low ground. Acid Spray. But I don't know. It feels like it's not enough, I guess. But Loda actually forced to leave.
Surprising, really. Loda's pretty much invincible in these fights. He might even just go, like, jungle just for, like, a few minutes. They might try and get the Roshan again, but
Maybe.
pretty much all of Empire are back up. It looks like Alliance are actually trying to bait Empire into taking another fight here, because things can only go bad for Empire in these sorts of engagements.
Can they win a straight-up 5v5 fight? Or is it just impossible
with an Elder
with the
Titan
composition?
and with Alliance having this kind of gold lead, not without some ridiculously amazing plays for the side of Empire that they don't really have the heroes for.
Fair enough. Yeah, and the problem is that both teams are almost fully committed to the pit at this point, so Empire is almost forced to take a fight there. Roshan's pretty low. Well, I guess he's healing back up now, but both teams were hanging around the pit because they knew either team can just walk in and steal it pretty quickly. Even Empire, despite being behind. Between Venge and Alk, you can kill a Roche very quickly.
Yeah, definitely. And then Silent's doing some pretty nice damage. Like you said, he picked up Sanjin Yasha, but it's really not that impressive an item for the hero, especially in this context, because they're working against a Slug. They really need a Basher versus that, but then he's still not tanky enough. He needs, he needs a lot of items.
Loda is in. He's already pounced up on Mag. So Mag, he has actually stealthed Loda. The Lincolns will eat the unstable concoction, and Resolution's attempt at initiation will not work. Always Want to Fly being chased. A pounce will kill him off. Nightmare on Resolution. Silent is still inside, and his entire team is dying. Mag is going to go down. Venge already went down. EGM is the trade-off, but you can't just keep killing Bane. You need more Silent. Dueling Loda and S4, not even close. And Resolution stunned up by another Dragon Tail. He will be the last to die, and it's a 5-for-1 trade. A calamity for Empire. Alliance is going to do the thing they do after every fight, win or lose, and take Roshan. And after that, I'm just not sure what Empire have left.
They really don't have much left, and the problem for that fight was, like you said, the Lifestealer was sitting inside of the Alchemist the entire fight because Bane didn't use his ulti. As soon as he jumped out, Bane just ults the Lifestealer. They have to focus down the Bane from that point onwards, and Alliance lose one, Empire lose everybody and Roshan. Very, very bad fight for the side of Empire.
Yeah, and it's a fight that they probably felt almost compelled to take, especially after Alliance looped around, I think, with a smoke. And unfortunately, yeah, Lifestealer just can't find a...
Fly.
Oh, God. He just can't do anything, and that's where the Lincolns... I actually think the Lincolns is doing great work there, because once he's on top of you, you just can't get him off.
Item pick up on him. He's hitting really, really hard at this point. He's now picked up a Yasha as well. This is only 25 minutes into the game, and he's doing, just over 200 damage.
Yeah, I mean, he has 18 stacks of Essence Shift at this point, so that's 50 agility. Like, that's more than an item. That's more than a butterfly.
That's a lot of agility. And this is the thing, the longer he's hitting people for, Slark scales really, really well from that. So he needs that early initial survivability, and then he can think about getting damage items like Yasha.
Yeah.
Looks like he's going to pick up a full Manta style there, so
Oh my
it's
god.
now actually impossible to
Open
kill one.
wounds, rage, but they don't have a
Can't
stun,
have-
do they? Will they get the shuriken toss in time? Barely! S4 TP's out. He actually thought he was dead too. I think he bought out for the Assault Cuirass, but he's fine. He actually makes it out mere, I don't know, a quarter second before the shuriken came in. Even as Loda
Alright.
just pens everybody else into the base.
Look where Loader is farming right now. There's nobody with him. There's Ake. Ake is the only one close to him. He's not even concerned. They actually can't kill him at this point. They don't have an Orchid, and even if they did Manta style,
Yeah.
they don't have enough stuns.
And he has a
a
one-up.
Lincoln Sphere. It's virtually invincible.
Definitely. And yeah, even if they manage to kill him, he'll just be like, okay, I'll come right back up and kill 3 of your players. No problem. I don't know, Empire. Oh, nice swap defensively onto Silent, saving him from what was probably certain doom, but Loda, he's hunting the low ground. Do they have a gem? Yes, Ake is holding onto it. Mag, running away as fast as humanly possible. The pounce will miss. He'll run south. Probably intelligent. There's no tracks up, however, so they can still keep chasing. Uh-oh. Loda's close. Will he land the pounce? It's available in 1 second. No, he misses again. And Mag actually... Oh my god, Dark Pact. Okay, maybe not. No, they'll let him go. And Bounty Hunter makes it out. Pretty important. Meanwhile, S4 is isolated. The Eventual Spirit de-armor lands, so does the Acid Spray, and I think that means a dead S4. Soul Assumption helps that along the way as well. So they kill Dragon Knight unanswered so far, except for the fact that Silent is Fiend's Gripped on the low ground. Pounce lands as well as the Echo Stomp. He's in so much trouble. He's still leashed. Loda will get that kill. Beta's dropped already, but Van's score, he will be dead. Always Wanna Fly is pounced. He's leashed under his own tower, which offers the least protection I've ever seen a tier 3 tower offer in Resolution. Just forced to leave the fight as well. Mag has a lifesteal inside of him. Loda, they're trying to bait him. They're trying to get him to overcommit, but it almost doesn't matter because dude is just too big.
Can he overcommit? I'm pretty sure he can fight in their fountain.
Oh
Like, this
my
is
God.
very bad.
Resolution, everybody's dropping. Bounty Hunter can't stay in fights for more than a second. Loda, once again under the tier 3 tower. Slark doesn't care about towers. He blows up Silent with the help of Elder Titan. And this is insane. This hero seems pretty good, actually. I don't know.
This hero wasn't nerfed. GG. Slark is pretty good.
Slark is pretty
I
real.
said Slark was bad. I'm an idiot. Slark is really strong. Slark is really, really strong. But as a one position, and definitely picking up some of those early items to give you that, just that little bit of survivability. Because otherwise, you can get caught out for a second, you just explode. In this game, though, like you said, tier 3 towers, nothing. Enemy team, nothing. He just runs through everybody.
Bounty ended the game at 9, level 9, 1, 7, and 4, and that's even just the laning. The pounce, for Bounty Hunter, a 3.5 second leash is just as bad as a stun. Like, there's no difference for Bounty Hunter early game.
Venge had 163 GPM.
Oh my god.
That's like low priority trench tier GPM. Like, he's really, really suffered this game, and
And Vansco's an incredible player.
It's not his fault. He just had a really hard game to play in. I think Alliance really did well this game.
They really did. Very impressive from them. They played the aggressive style that they've been testing out lately. They used a brand new pick, and they showed it off. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better Slark game than this. 18, 1, and 9 for Loda. And we'll see one more Alliance game today, folks. That will be our last game of the day. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll be back in a moment.